Shalom, everybody. This is Brian Israel from Hebrew Hearts, and I don't know why the lights in my car are any brighter. Turn them on. Crank the engine. Go. It's a real short video. Today was just tough. Just tough. And my adopted dad called me. He's really learned the art of speaking life the past couple of years, and another friend in Florida called me too. And I was just such a bad place. I'm like, thank you. And the conversation started, the conversation ended. Still pretty much felt like crap, had the same tone of voice, and just was in that same place mostly. And it's hard to, I'm a hard person to encourage sometimes, and that's, I know there's a lot of people in that situation. And sometimes you really want to encourage somebody, but they're just in a place it's hard to see it's doing any good that you're encouraging them. But John Paul Jackson had a little teaching on that I liked a lot, and he compared it to chess, and my adopted dad taught me how to play chess. And it's like this concept of everyone has a different piece to play sometimes, and there's some chess pieces that are meant to move forward. It advances your side. Like if you're the white side, it advances your side. It moves all your other pieces forward, and those are glamorous pieces, like a queen or a bishop can do that. They move everything forward. And there's other pieces that are meant to hold ground. All the pawns are like that, and the knights, and sometimes the rook, is you're holding the ground. You're not making any obvious headway in someone's life or in their day or their emotions. You're not making any kind of apparent obvious headway. But what you are doing is you're keeping the darkness from advancing. And you're keeping it from getting any worse. Because the darkness will keep advancing until the light stops it. And there was an inverse of that. He said, darkness can only advance at the speed at which light is willing to retreat. Darkness can only advance at the speed at which light is willing to retreat. And darkness is not a substance, it's just the absence of light. So if the light is holding the ground, if the light is not retreating, the darkness cannot advance. And that's kind of what today was. And sometimes what both those people say is extremely encouraging and changes a lot, but some days it's just so bad that it doesn't seem to move me forward any. But what it did is keep the darkness from advancing. It holds the ground. It keeps it from getting any worse, because the darkness of the day just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing until it pushes you over the edge. But and so it didn't make the day better per se, but it kept them getting worse. And sometimes that's exactly what's needed, is the slow down on it, to keep it from progressing, to keep it from getting any worse, to keep it from going any deeper in the rabbit hole, to keep it from going any more in your own mind, and your own sadness, and your own disappointments, just until you can get to that place within yourself to be stable. And when you can get to that place in yourself, then someone else's words and encouragement can push you forward. But when you're just on that downhill, sometimes what's necessary and needed is just somebody to slow you down before you crash into a wall. Not to stop you, not to turn you around the other direction. Like you're going down the wrong way of the street. It's not that person makes you do a U-turn. It's not that they completely stop you either. If you're doing 90 miles an hour this way, they can slow you down to 20. And you might be able to stop on your own. And that's like the chess pieces. Some chess pieces move us forward, and some just hold the ground to tell the darkness, stop, you can't go any further. And if you're trying to encourage people in your life and it doesn't seem to be doing extravagant amounts of good, just know you're probably the one holding the darkness back. You're the one holding back the water, holding back the fire, holding back the dark. And that's a good thing to do. Just don't be discouraged in that. Sometimes you are holding ground Like in ministry or churches, there's pastors and evangelists that go out and they advance the kingdom and they push and they go new places and meet new people. But there has to be someone at home to hold down the fort, to keep the darkness from overtaking the ground that was already gained. Say someone is a bad alcoholic or they're a drug dealer or they're whatever they were, they're wicked, and they get saved and they start a family. And the whole family gets saved. The whole family's walking in the faith. And so the man goes off to be a famous evangelist and he preaches everywhere. And he's building the kingdom, he's advancing the kingdom. Well, why can he go and advance the kingdom? Because there's someone staying at home to maintain the ground he already has. He's not leaving his children with just anybody. There's someone staying at home to maintain the ground that was already won. Because he goes off and wins territory somewhere else, but what was already established, the ground that was already conquered, is taken over by the enemy, it doesn't do any good. If that happens enough, everyone's afraid to leave home. Like some pastors will go be on TV pastors, build a kingdom pastors. And some pastors are there to help the people maintain that are already in the location. They're already been won to their faith. He's helping them maintain. He keeps the darkness and dragging them off into the night. So some pastors like that. Sometimes you're the one that moves it forward. Sometimes you're the one that maintains what's been won. And both are absolutely necessary. But as far as encouraging people, just don't lose that. Shalom.